the job the offense did today supporting you in this one?
I mean, put together some really good at-bats against a really good pitcher and, just got some guys on base and, had a big hit when we needed it. Jason obviously coming through was huge. But, I thought it was just a really great team effort. The defense was incredible tonight. Good ABs, and, bullpen came in and shut the door. So I thought it was a really good win.
You mentioned that defense. What did you think of the catch that Grisham made?
Huge. I felt like I kind of lost it there in the seventh, and, that ball lands, and, potentially, he was pretty aggressive trying to get to second, so potential of him scoring from first there, and so for him to be able to catch that limited the damage, and being able to, hand the ball off to Weave and have him be able to get out of that. It was, definitely a big part of the game.
Even at that, Aaron Boone said you tried to plead your case and stay in there. How badly did you want to finish that inning?
I'm a competitor. I want to be out there, and I want to be able to, have the ball and, in the big moments. But at the end of the day, I felt like I definitely wasn't as sharp as I was earlier in the game. So, at that moment, you respect what, the decision the manager wants to make. But, knowing that I want to be out there, and, I want to be able to have the ball.
Bryce, how much are you intentionally changing speeds with the fastball over the course of the game? Because it's kind of like sometimes it's 90, 92, sometimes you reach for the 96, 97. To what extent is that like reading swings or strategically based on?
That's just the way I've been since I can remember in high school. I think the joke was I was always like in high school I was like 85 to 95. So just being able to vary speeds and being able to have different velocities. Just understanding that hitting is timing. It's rhythm and timing, and if you can try to disrupt that and throw a couple different speeds on a fastball, hopefully I can get some weak contacts and get some extra outs.
You mentioned Jason. What have been your impressions of him as you've gotten to know him and be around him a little bit?
Extremely talented. He's young, but he works really hard, and to be able to be in this situation and take advantage of his opportunities. He's made some really nice plays in the outfield and learning a new position, and then also just taking really good quality at bats. You can see that he's making strides and growing every day.
Say are the biggest reason or reasons you've gotten off to this strong start?
I think I just have a lot of. I got great teammates. Been able to have a really good staff, and the organization's really welcomed me in and made me feel comfortable. And at the end of the day, when you have really talented teammates, you can trust them and lean on them, knowing that it's not all up to me to shoulder everything out on the mound and to be able to be okay with kind of dispersing it all. So for me, it's just being comfortable and just trying to compete and trying to win baseball games.
He did get you once there in that third inning, the 1-0 pitch, fastball to Melendez, just mislocation there.
Oh, yeah. I pulled it. I left it down the middle. It was the same sort of thing to Bobby Witt. Just left it a little middle, and, when you got guys that are aggressive and good hitters, they put the barrel on it, and, you just tip your cap sometimes.
You've got Clark Schmidt joining the rotation tomorrow. I know you haven't been teammates with him yet, but you see anything in spring training or in the past that, what do you think he'll add to this staff?
I mean, haven't been able to watch him live, like you said, on from this side, but everything that I saw in spring, it was just, he's got really great stuff. I feel like he's got a lot of the same sort of pitch mix as I do, so he's able to move the ball around, have a lot of different speeds and, the different ways that the ball's moving and keep hitters off balance. And, I know he's really excited to get back out there and, help us out. We'll definitely take a talent like Clark.